Is a contract that has to do with testing. Don, did you want to talk about that?
Sure, as part of our bid package in the $9.5 million package, this is part of that. This was not, completely bidded out, as of when we signed the contracts. What we did is we put a placeholder in that bid of $70,000. That was the best estimate what that would be. We had 4 bidders on this, and the bid came in at $40,000, which is really, that's a $30,000 savings to what we thought it would be. I think this is a great bid. I looked at all the bids, somewhere in the $90,000 range, but I think this is if we're gonna save money on this project, or at least try to keep it under the $9 million, which is our target goal, you have to do it a couple $1,000s at a time, and here's $30,000 of it, with this contract.
Thanks, Don. I'll need a motion on the contract.
I'll make the motion to approve the contract with, DBA Associates, or DBA.
Need a second?
$39,983.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Here's a second. Further discussion?
This is for 2290 Gilbertsville. I don't think if we wait a month to see what the outcome of the trial is gonna hurt. I mean, it may be a great bid, but why are we committing to more money? That's my comment.
Well, the testing will be done farther into the project, so the testing probably won't be done till next year. If for some reason, we do lose that case, and this will be the least of our problems. This contract, while we may execute it, I'm sure the bidder can be aware, of the court case. Again, you gotta fish on the line. I reel this one in because this is a good savings. I understand your question,
Thank you.
but we're not going to be expending money until far into next year with this.
I understand, but we're still committing by signing a contract. That's just my comment,
Sure.
okay?
Any more comments? All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Against?
Nay.
3-2, Jenny. Old business B. Michelle, you can talk about it?
Sorry about that, let me get the microphone on. So this is, as I reported in my admin report, the 2025 road projects, which were for work on Gross Road and Old Orchard Drive. The one part of the project, in order to use liquid fuels, needed to be completed by September 30th, and it was not completed. So therefore, we are asking that the commissioners consider extending the contract for Gross Road base repair only and all improvements on Old Orchard Drive to 10/31/25. And then on Gross Road, the bituminous seal coat, part of the contract will be extended until May 31st, 2026. So on that note, we will need the budget for that part of this project in 2026 in liquid fuels.
Okay, so this is old business. I'll need a motion to extend the project on item number B.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Here in a second. Further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Old business C, Cherry Tree Farm Stormwater Project.
So the first item on your agenda is a change order for this project for the removal of some trees, in the amount of $2,200. So we need that approval first for the change order, and then we also need to, approve payment in the amount of $23,000 to James R. Kenny for this project. And that was reviewed and approved by our township engineer, Al Braga.
Okay, so C and D, we'll move through those both. So the first one is the, change order. I'll need a motion on that.
I'll make that motion for $2,200 increase.
Hearing the motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Hearing a second, discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Against? Motion carries. Moving to D, and this is the actual authorizing the payment. I'll need a motion on that one.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Hearing a second, further discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Against? Motion carries. Item E is the road in relation to the Pottsville Hunt development, Michelle.
Okay, so as part of the Pottsgrove Hunt development, that's phase one of 143 homes, the developer was required by resolution to make improvements to Coomer Road, as requested or as recommended by the township engineer. You have a letter in your packet, with the recommendation from the township engineer as to those improvements. In addition to some of those improvements, there's also, funds being provided to cover the cost of future roadway improvements related to the potential expansion of the roadway as necessary for stormwater management facilities. And I do believe that Dave is here from Pottsgrove Hunt if you have any questions or if he has anything else he wants to add. We did go back and forth a lot on this over the last week, so we were able to come up with a final solution that the engineer was comfortable with recommending, and I believe Eric as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I need a motion on item D, the improvements to Coomer Road as related to the letter. Is
I'll
there,
make that motion for Coomer Road improvements.
hearing a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Here's a second, further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, old business F, G, and H are all extension for development projects. They're all in, they were in your packet. I'm gonna put those all together unless there's objection, and we will move to extend those. So I'll need a motion to extend F, G, and F as requested.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Hearing a second, further discussion?
Discussion, on, F and G, this is probably not gonna be relevant to, but I have to get the question in somewhere. With the State Street, a resident contacted me over between meetings here, and I took a long time to get back to him. I forgot where we sat with the cul-de-sac issue. I know we had a presentation, the developers were here. I wanted to get it on record where we're at with that and make sure that nothing could, interrupt our plans to put a cul-de-sac there. And just give these people some more reassurance.
So, at the last, I think it was the last meeting, they were here, Gambone was here. We gave them the direction to design the plans with the cul-de-sac. So they took that direction, they're in the process of doing those designs now, which leads to the reason for these, the extension they're asking for now is because the plans weren't ready to resubmit for our engineer's review. So they are designing that development with the cul-de-sac.
Okay, I hope that, answers the question of the resident who contacted me. It's certainly not a done deal, but it's in the oven right now, so.
Okay, we had a motion, we had a second, any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Against? Motion carries. So F, G, and H approved. Moving to old business I. This is the authorization Chester Valley to perform engineering for Gooseville Road. So, Michelle.
So this project has been in the works for several years. The township tried to pursue a few different grants on this. This is for the Gilbertsville Road Pedestrian Crossing Improvement Project. And with the grant that we received, there was $30,000 in the grant for engineering. Unfortunately, because it took us 3 years to obtain a grant for this project, The costs of engineering have gone up. We did get two quotes, one from LTL and one from Chester Valley Engineers. And the LTL was, in excess of $55,000, CVE is $41,220. So that is, $11,220 more than what's in the grant. So we need the board to authorize the engineering so that we can move forward with the grant and getting the, pedestrian crossing completed. I believe, I would defer to Eric, but I believe the additional $11,220 could potentially come out of open space, but I'm not certain. But either way, I need the board's approval, because that engineering cost is more than what is in the grant.
So the answer to that question is it can, obviously, there's percentage caps as to what you can use for design, so long as it fits into those caps that are in the Open Space Act. We could use up to that, whatever that cap amount would be.
Okay. And we will definitely, figure that out with our auditor, and we can budget those additional funds, whether it be open space or general fund for 2026 or 2027, whenever we are gonna go to construction.
Okay, on I, I'll need a motion for an engineering bill for a road crossing. Is there a motion for that?
I'll make that
motion to increase the total fee to $41,220.
I'll second.
Second, any discussion?
Project's gonna cost, literally, it's a crossing in the road from around Cherry Tree and Douglasville.
With
It's
a signal, yeah.
It's a signaled crossing. So it's a signaled crossing, and I believe it's gonna be similar to something like they have at the Main Street in Millersforth. But we did obtain a grant for the full cost of, there's no cost to the township except the additional engineering.
$500,000, how much was this thing?
$301,500 is what we got the grant for.
I could paint the road half that.
I think this became a bigger project than we expected, and it is the result of, it's coming from the Arboretum to Cherry Tree Farms.
Right.
And I believe there was an accident, someone got hit.
Correct.
And you have to understand, there's a lot of children that attend, workshops and things at the Arboretum, so in the name of safety, that's why we applied for this, funding to put a crosswalk. It's not just paint, I agree, I could paint mines too, but, you know, this turned out to be a much bigger project, and it's because it's a state road, correct?
That was what I was
That was,
saying.
it's a state road, so
The other
we just-
thing, it's a state road and requires an HOP.
Exactly,
And it's not just a crosswalk, but widening the curves or something like that.
Yeah, there's additional work.
All right, I just thought I'd inject that.
Okay, I had a motion and a second.
Yep.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against?